It's safer to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than to confront a fool caught in foolishness. In this video, we're going to show you why that is so true. Y'all know what it's like, I think, to be between a mama bear and her cubs. Not good. I mean, things are going to go down in a hurry. And what we're talking about today is trying to deal with that situation is easier and safer than trying to comfort a fool caught in foolishness. Because if you've ever caught a fool in foolishness, you are going to deal with so much extraneous excuses, so many pointing the fingers, blame game, all of that stuff. That is what we're talking about here. So if you're dealing with someone like that, if you are someone like that, we're going to give you some tips on how you combat that and how you deal with it in the moment. The first tip is if you repay good with evil, evil will never leave your house. Isn't that good? You want evil to leave your house. Don't be foolish. If someone is trying to do good, don't give them evil back. Maybe their intention is good, but their action ends up like pissing you off. Don't give them evil back, or evil is just going to rest there with you. You don't want evil to rest with you. So moral of the story there is you never want to repay anything with evil. I mean, especially good. But even evil with evil, you don't want to do that. That's not going to do anybody any good. That's not going to show God to anybody. That's not going to heal you on the inside. That's not going to make you emotionally more stable. That's not going to take away stress from you. But it will do all those things. The positive impact is if you just repay evil with good. That's the flip side here. If somebody is giving you evil, give them good. It'll probably shock them. And it'll definitely be a healthier thing for you to have to deal with and manage. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit. So make that a habit that you espouse to. Second point, starting a quarrel is like opening a floodgate. Don't start a quarrel, especially if you're starting a quarrel with a fool. Because once you do that, the floodgate is open. And you are going to try to catch a fool in foolishness, which is dangerous. Just going to lead to more lies, more accusation. You can see this thing will be just like a torrent, just fire hose opened up, just like a floodgate. You don't want that. If you find yourself in a situation like that where you're engaging with someone and it's getting heated and the floodgate has been opened, go slow. Tune down your voice, fewer words, take your tone down, and speak good, speak love. No matter how hard it would be, speak love. Take everything down. And you're going to find that that's going to serve you well. Not only in the moment, but over the long haul. If you become that kind of person who remains even-tempered, which we've talked about in other videos. Third point, stop a quarrel before a dispute breaks out. So this could be if you see a quarrel going on with two other people. Stop it before it escalates to a dispute. Of course, you could be in the middle of a quarrel and you don't want it to turn into a dispute. You don't want it to turn into, I'll show you, and let's ask Joe, and all of those things which are childish and they don't lead to anything positive. You want these interactions to lead to some positivity. You don't want to be caught in foolishness, because that's being foolish. And remember, a fool caught in foolishness is worse than meeting a bear robbed of her cubs. It's worse than that. So you don't want to go down this slippery slope. Fourth point, acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent. If you acquit the guilty, condemn the innocent, that is going to lead to trouble. If you are in a position to acquit the guilty and condemn the innocent, take it very seriously. Ask a lot of questions. Don't condemn. A lot of times you may not know who's innocent. You know, I think about kids, he hit me, or she did it, or whatever. How do you know who's innocent and who's guilty? Ask questions. Look at body language. You don't want to be the person that acquitted the guilty and condemned the innocent, because that's not going to do that person any good. For sure. What kind of message are you sending them? So you have to take that responsibility very seriously. Don't underestimate it. Ask a lot of questions. If you don't feel qualified, then say so and step out of that arena. This requires being very humble and being very self-aware of what is going on, because again, the words you speak, in this case, what you're called to do in terms of condemnation, of guilt, or innocence is very, very heady stuff. So don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. Make sure you're getting as much wisdom as you can when you're in that situation. Don't become a fool and try to justify your action. Do your research. Know up front what's going on. And the fifth point, it is senseless to pay to educate a fool. That one requires some thought. It's senseless to pay to educate a fool. Could be with a child saying, hey, you need to go to college. I know, I never went to college, so you need to go to college. Well, if they're a fool and they're not going to take advantage of the college experience, then it is senseless to pay to educate a fool. Same thing, if you want to share wisdom with somebody, doesn't have to be your kid, could be a friend of yours, and you're trying to educate them with some wisdom from experiences you've had in the past or things you've picked up from other people, and they're just not listening, they're not embracing, they're not taking notes, they're not saying back to you what you said to try to understand it, their mindset, their attitude is not good. It doesn't pay to educate a fool. Just remember that. I know our hearts, I've got a lot of compassion for people, so I'll want to keep going back. I believe in people. I believe that they've got so much to offer. So I have to be very careful with this one. We've got a community, and we, at different levels, you can come in and you have to pay to get into different levels. And the people that try to get in for free or try to get something for nothing, it just doesn't pay. In our culture, paying for something adds value to it. So if someone has to pay, they're going to take it more seriously. That's just human nature. That's just the way it is. So remember this fact. Don't think you're doing someone a service by not making them pay for something that you do. Maybe it's a good or service that you provide. That's not serving that person because they're not going to take it seriously in most cases. There may be some people that will. But for the most part, you have to be very discerning with this. Be careful, because you don't want to get caught in the middle of a fool's foolishness, because it is exhausting. It will take away from what you're doing. It will distract you from what God really wants you to do. Subscribe with the notification bell to receive regular updates. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button to see more like it. Comment down below, and this can be with questions or answers to a question you ask. We will see you next time on the journey from isolation to community, where the next step beyond is freedom.